The Jacksonville Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Second down, 13. At the 45 of Baltimore. Brunell back in the pocket. Has a bit of time. Now being chased. Plants throws. He's looking downfield. He's got a receiver. And it is caught. Jimmy Smith at the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. He beats Wayne Starks for 45 yards.
Barks out for signals. Drops to throw. Has time. Fires the slant. Jimmy's got it this time. 35, 30. Middle of the field. 20. He's going to the 20-yard line. He's going to score. 10, 5. Jimmy Smith. Touchdown. And the Jaguars are right back in this ball game. Barks out the signals. Pressure coming. Steps up. Steps. Turns. Throws. He's got Jimmy. First down. 20. There he goes. 10, 5. Touchdown. Win. Jacksonville. Done under pressure. Steps to avoid. Turns and throws. He's got him in. Caught Jimmy inside the 40-yard line to the 37 and down to the 36.
Congratulations to Jimmy Smith. That is now his 800th career reception, and what a play to get it on.
This team winning right now, it helps bring so much attention to our franchise, what we did back in the day, like we were talking about, these Hall of Fame conversations. But when we're winning, we see the conversations pick up. So we have noticed that. So obviously, I'm pulling for my team to get to this Super Bowl.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and Dylan Denmark.
What a weekend it was here in Jacksonville with Tom Coughlin going into the pride of the Jaguars. Jags get their first win of the year. We see all four of those guys, as we've talked about all week, the four most likely Jaguars to wind up in the Hall of Fame at this point. If you're talking about the discussions about who can and can't get there, Tony already in. Fred's certainly in that conversation. Jimmy is worthy of that conversation. Tom Coughlin is in the middle of that conversation right now as well. Those four guys all going into the pride with Tom going in there this weekend. My goodness, D-Rock. Those jackets, I've said it every day. I don't know why it took this long to get that idea out there, but holy cow. Those teal jackets are unbelievable. Did you see the inside of any of them?
I actually didn't see the inside, but I did, we talked to Coughlin right afterwards in the team room, and I was looking at the jacket and the outside. It's got the little patch on there, and I was just like, wow, that is actually pretty slick.
Yeah, the inside, when you get a chance to see them whenever they're around again, I don't expect those guys to wear them around all the time, but if you see the inside of them, the team put it where they have highlights from each player's career. On the inside of those jackets.
That's pretty cool.
Right? Like, it's pretty amazing. Again, I don't know why it took that long to get to that idea, but it's here now. The next guy who's going to do that, we're going to have all those guys up there in those teal jackets. It was cool to see Tom Coughlin up there saying, this is our color. We wear teal.
Yeah.
Can we fully embrace that, please? The
teal helmets. Let's see the Jags do it. Teal helmets.
Teal all the time. We know we're going to get to see the throwbacks at least one more time this year. Bring it on, Jets.
That should be the permanent uniform.
You aren't kidding.
I don't understand why they just don't go back to it.
I didn't understand it when they left it. Right? And now you can look at it in hindsight and be like, you'd have the best uniform in football. If you just went to it, you'd have the argument for the best uniform in football. The players love it. The fans love it. Everyone, when they wore them on Sunday, were like, look at these. Like, the whole football-watching country was like, look at these.
I don't know if it's the best, because bring me the creamsicle Bucks uniforms back in the day, man. That was some good stuff.
If only Dempsey was here to yell at you right now. Dempsey hates those creamsicles.
Oh, my God, I loved them.
He hates
them.
Dempsey not going to make it in today. He's got the power outage over at the house. I talked to him before the show. Everything's okay. Just doesn't have power at the house. So he is saving the phone until he can get on for the breakfast ball. I think he's made a plan for how he's going to use his phone for the rest of the day so that he can be sure.
If we drag that out through like 3 segments, maybe he won't be able to pick.
Something along those lines.
But call back. We lost your mic.
Not going to be able to join us for the show. He'll be back in with us tomorrow, obviously, for Jaguars Today. But the last couple days over at the house, so no damage from what I could tell. So he at least got through it okay. Just going to be getting through it without power at the house until they can get it back to him over there. How'd they do over in Clay County?
We made out really, really well. I'm up there in Orange Park, so the northeast part of Clay County. It was worse for Helene for us. Mm-hmm. We had way more wind and a ton more rain with Helene than we did with Milton. So we made out really, really well. No damage, no issues, anything.
Good. How about Baldwin?
I don't know what it's like in Baldwin, but Lake Shore's all right on the west side. I'll live over there, my boy.
I got you. I was just checking in on your boys.
Yeah,
That's all I'm trying to do.
I think they're all right. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, I mean, the storm wasn't that bad on the west side.
Good. I know I'm over in Bayard, Bartram, that area, so I'm right on the edge of St. Johns County.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. It got a little windy at night. It kind of felt like that's where it was going to be. When we got to yesterday afternoon, you could see it keep tracking a little bit more and more south. I was like, all right, so we're going to avoid the worst of what we thought it might be here in this area. But that doesn't mean everybody did. I mean, the pictures coming out of
Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota, it's bad.
It's really bad. Like I told you before the show, I got a friend of mine who works as a state trooper. He's waiting to see where they're going to send him today, but he's going to be going somewhere. And they're bringing all their water rescue gear. Like they're ready to do whatever they're going to need to do to help people out. But there's a lot of people that are going to need some help. I mean, you're talking 15 inches of water falling from the sky on top of 110-mile-an-hour winds. The damage is...
And storm surge, which was ridiculous.
Yeah. And I forget who I was talking to here at the station yesterday, but they had a friend that was down in the area down there was like, yeah, we're not leaving. I was like, go get them now. Like, they're telling you it'll take 8 hours to get there. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they can't stay. Not for this. And I've stayed through every storm that we've had in Jacksonville since I got here. I've never had to actually leave to this point. I've been lucky.
Yeah.
Right? Like, been really fortunate that I haven't been in that situation, but I've been right on the edge of making that call several times. And if I was where the people in Tampa and down there were, I'd be, no, there's no way.
Right. Or at least get to a shelter.
Yeah.
If you're not going to leave, at least get to a shelter.
Yeah. And hopefully everyone did. We'll see exactly what's going to be the outcome of all this. And obviously these are areas that had to deal with Helene 3 weeks ago, so they still had debris on the roads, just they hadn't been picked up yet.
Right.
It's hard to clean up after something like that.
So debris ended up being missiles.
Certainly could have. And again, it's hard to even tell exactly what's going to be the outcome of any of this right after it happens, because the storm still has to move through the rest of the state before you can get people to where they can really get in and help. It's, the local law enforcement that has to stick around, they're going to try to get to everybody they can, but none of that's easy.
No.
Right? Like that whole process, none of that's easy. So if you're looking, there are plenty of places I'm sure you can reach out to if you want to help. There'll be plenty of places asking for help here over the next few days, and open it up. We do that every year for the J Fund, and we should. We're proud to have that partnership with the J Fund and to help the families that are dealing with something that devastating when it falls on your lap. Well, now we have a bunch of people that are basically in our neighborhood that are going to be dealing with something devastating falling in their laps. Lives, businesses, everything's going to be ruined for a lot of people. Whatever we can do to help, figure out a way to help. Yeah. Whatever that path to help looks like, let's all get on the same page on that. Thank goodness we can get on the same page on a Jaguars win. My goodness, it only took a month, D-Rock, but we're here. The Jags 1-4 now as they get ready for the back-to-backs over there in London.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when the schedule came out and we looked at it and we saw the start, we thought, there's a legit chance they could be 0-4. That's a tough start. And if you had told me then that, they didn't make it through those first four with a victory, I would have thought, okay, yeah, I see it. But then when you watch them play in those four and you see how they played and the mistakes and the things they missed and how in reality they should be 3-1, that's what made it worse. But yeah, they got that win against the Colts. Now they're talking about trying to gain some momentum. And they've got 2 games against teams that they could beat, and they could come back from London 3-4 with new life. I mean, look, this division isn't good. The Texans, I don't think, are going to run away with this division. I don't think that they're a team that's that good yet. Now, maybe they become that, but hey, Nico Collins is now on IR, so that's an issue that they're going to have to deal with, and he was leading the league in receiving, so this division is going to get a little bit tighter, and if you're the Jags coming back at 3-4, the schedule gets a little easier there for a little bit, and you got a chance to
easier. Easier. Playing the whole NFC North doesn't seem easy.
Well, it's easy. The second half is probably easier than the first half. Let's put it that way.
Well,
in theory,
the first couple. I think going into the season, we all felt like a bunch of playoff teams on the schedule early. Now we see what those playoff teams actually are. They stink.
Yeah. Well,
like Miami and Cleveland are terrible. Those are terrible
the season,
teams.
You would have thought going to beat the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy and probably lose to the Jets.
Right.
Flip it.
Right. Like now we know
terrible.
the real difficult part of the schedule is, you mean they go back-to-back to London, now they got to play all 4 NFC North teams, and the whole NFC North is above 500 right now. Right?
Yeah.
Like we'll see what happens on Sunday. The Jags can punch Chicago back down to 3-3, but that Minnesota team's legit. We know that Detroit's legit. Green Bay is legit. Chicago's the only one that everyone's like, I wonder if they're actually good.
Yeah, but none of them, like aside from the Vikings, none of them have looked
not
like
a bunch of
unbeatable.
World beaters,
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know that there is. Look, the Kansas City Chiefs do this every year. They look mortal for the first half of the season, and then they start rolling again, and then you get in the postseason, and they can't be touched. And I think we're still at that point of the season where nobody looks superhuman at this point. So would it surprise me if the Jags swept the NFC North? Yeah, a little bit. But if they went 3-1, it wouldn't surprise me if they went 3-1.
3-1. If they came out of London and won both those games and then won 3 or 4 in that run, you talk about everything being back on the table. For this football team. That's a lot of work to get done between now and then. Chicago's enough of a handful right this week for this football team. It's not a bad Chicago Bears team. Our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day today asking you, which of these Jaguars has been the most disappointing through the first 5 games of the season? If you choose other, please just respond to us with who you would choose. It's a tight one between the two we put on there. Eric Armstead and Gabe Davis, your 2 name choices we put on there along with other. We'll let you know who else got sent in as we go throughout the show this morning. But Armstead and Davis here early on, almost 300 votes in on that already this morning, and it's 51-46, the vote between those 2 guys right now. I won't even tell you which way it's leaning to this point in the poll, but 51-46 in that poll this morning. We'll discuss that as we go throughout the show this morning. Again, Dempsey dealing with the lights being out at the house, but he is at the house and safe and dry at this point in time. He'll join us for the Breakfast Bowl here in about an hour. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, Dylan Denmark, and on assignment, Mike Dempsey. We'll get into it here on a Thursday edition of Jaguars Today next on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Oh, yeah, the injured hamstring.
All it takes to spoil the dream is the tweak of a hamstring.
Boy, this is bad news.
Listen for the Farah and Farah injury update.
On 1010XL, Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, gang, Prosser here to save you some cash. Maximize your home sale now with the market experts who deliver more money in less time, and those experts are Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. You don't have to worry. The worries are relieved with Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts we are trusting and recommending with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Mortgage rates are down. It's time to create your market. Marvin in Cobblestone writes, my siblings and I moved our parents to Maryland so they can get some extra help as they get older. Next, we had to sell the home to get them some financial help for their extra care. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they delivered big. Chad and Sandy's team got our home sold in 7 days above asking price. You can too. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Now, the Florida State Seminole Report, brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team.
The Florida State football team suffered a 29-13 loss to number 15 Clemson on Saturday night at Doak Campbell Stadium. Playing their first-ranked opponent of the season, the Seminoles were held to 250 yards, 228 of which were passing, and 22 were rushing. FSU was off this weekend before they traveled to Duke on October 18th. I'm RJ Saunders with your Ag Pro Seminole Report.
The kickoff to savings event is here at AgPro. Through October 31st, we're offering 0 down and 0% for 84 months on John Deere compact tractors. Get a 1025R tractor with loader for just $279 per month, or a 3025E tractor with loader for only $349 per month. Visit your local AgPro store today. Offer ends October 31st. Limited time offer. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
You're locked in to Jaguars Today Thursday with
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Bold City AC, heating that rules. Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options. Bold City AC, we got the crew. Visit boldcityac.com.
Go! Your school, your colors. There's something special about football under the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Friday Night Lights with Hacker and Andrew Gibson. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. You've heard me talk about the Rolex my grandfather gave me for graduating from college. But there's something else you need to know about Rolex watches from an official Rolex jeweler for over 60 years. If you own a Rolex, probably today more than ever before, if you need that Rolex serviced, you should only visit an official Rolex jeweler. In North Florida, there are 4, with Underwood's 3 stores, and Mayors has 1. Anybody else claiming to work on Rolex has no direct access to parts, and the use of non-authentic Rolex parts jeopardizes your Rolex from both an authenticity and a value standpoint. At Underwood's, we have state-of-the-art Rolex repair shops, both designed and outfitted by Rolex and staffed by Rolex watch technicians trained by Rolex. And best of all, our shop is on premise, so your Rolex will never leave Jacksonville, and our Rolex repairs carry a 2-year warranty. At Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops at Ponte Vedra.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1-mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at mackenziesrun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. mackenziesrun.org.
1 second left. Packers are down by 6 at the goal line. Your defense is the only thing stopping them from scoring. Is your team prepared? Double Check Cybersecurity has your back. With an AI-powered defense, start your 14-day trial at doublecheck.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and Dylan Denmark here with you. Mike Dempsey on assignment from the house. Doing all
Armageddon
right.
It. What are we doing in there?
You don't like this beat?
Oh, I do. I'm just not sure I would
He
have.
just knows the song.
Yeah, I
I
just
like the beat.
Armageddon. Okay.
All right.
We're all right.
I didn't tie the 101 together just then.
Okay.
I'll do that for the next hour and a half of the show.
All righty then.
Yeah. An interesting choice, Pockets, no doubt. But it is a good beat. I'll give him that.
Yep.
It's a fine beat for a song. I mean, I need the Armageddon stuff going right now.
Yeah, we don't like that part of it, but
No.
yes. Big Def Leppard fan here.
Not at the moment, though. At what point, we have Gabe Davis and Armstead as the two guys on our poll this morning as to which guy's been more disappointing. We can discuss where we would even land on that. It's not a simple answer, I don't think, for who has been the more disappointing of the two, which is why the poll is so tight as it is so far this morning. But at what point do the Jaguars just tell Eric Armstead, you're a defensive tackle, because we need a defensive tackle who gives us something in the pass game on the inside? I get it. You got here for whatever myriad of reasons they had, with him talking about defensive end and Trent Baalke talking about him at defensive end. We're a month and a half into the season now. At what point does the team just say, that was fine, it was an okay plan when we had the plan stinks. We need you to play defensive tackle because we need somebody on the interior of this defensive line to give them some kind of push?
Yeah, that's the question, because that has been probably, if we're trying to find the most disappointing position group, it's either interior defensive line or the safeties.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the moment in the game, they kind of fluctuate there. But yeah, that's the problem is that then they weaken themselves so much at defensive end if he's lining up a tackle. Who's, I mean, they've tried Roy Robertson Harris out there. He's not really a defensive end either.
The only other guy they have is Cole.
Right, and he's so raw at this point.
Yeah.
So I think they get to a point where they move him inside at times. But I don't think it's going to be he's going to exclusively line up in there. But they've got to do something. You can't just be dependent on the edge. You got to have some push up the front. And it's been, we could probably, if we weren't asking for like recent people that were joined here, I would say Devon Hamilton could be one of the more disappointing guys on that list. You hope if you're the Jags that at some point this season that Mason Smith starts to get a little bit more push up the middle. But until that happens, the best plan would be to move him inside, but they're not at that point yet. Moving Armstead inside, but they're not at that point yet. But that might get here quicker than we thought.
Yeah, it's just, I get it. You signed him, you talked to him as if he was going to be an end here. You talked him up when people were like, what about the depth? Why didn't we add any depth on defensive end? They're like, we did. Eric Armstead, it's like, okay. When they signed him, I was as excited about him as I was anything else they had done in the offseason, because, finally, they got a guy on the interior next to these two guys on the outside. And what's he going to unlock for Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker if they have Armstead pushing from the middle, right? That's what that felt like it was unlocking for me. And instead they said, no, he's a defensive end. When they said it, I was like, he's a what? What? Why would that be how you address your defensive end depth? He's been a more efficient player on the inside than he has been on the outside, basically his whole career there in San Francisco. I didn't understand it when they said it. Now we're 5 weeks into it, and I'm even more so just at what point do we just flip the page on whatever this experiment was?
I expected their top third down rush package to be Josh Hines-Allen on the outside, Trayvon Walker, Eric Armstead on the inside, and then Travis Gibson on the other side.
Sure.
That's what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And then Armstead's a defensive end, and Travis Gibson's traded because they felt like they didn't need anybody else over there. They had enough depth there. And that might be one of the bigger mistakes that they've made this season.
We knew going into the season what the big kind of question marks were, for the football team. It's not like those big questions have been answered yet. Talked about this with Johnny O yesterday on the program too. We know what they are. There's no mystery to this for this football team. It's interior pass rush. They're doing a good job against the run. It's interior pass rush is where they're having the big issues right now. And 3rd and 4th and 1 on offense are still a problem for the football team. Like, those two issues haven't been resolved, for the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars. And they both rear their heads at different times in these games. They were pretty good in the 3rd and 4th and short this week against Indianapolis, but they had to do that with the QB sneak. It's not like they're just saying, here we go ETN, go Bigsby, go get a yard. It's when they get put in those situations, we all go, I wonder what's going to happen this time. And it's kind of the same way the other side. When it's pass rush time, Trayvon had an incredible day. Could have had 5, got the 3. Josh Hines-Allen, we know what kind of level of player he is, but we knew those guys were going to be those kind of guys coming into the season. It's if they can get something from the middle to complement that.
Or something from anybody else, even if it's from the outside, and they've got nothing.
Sure.
From
and
anybody.
Devon Hamilton was the guy that 2 years ago, before all that crazy back stuff happened, was supposedly their best interior pass rusher, right? That's the way he was being talked about by the team. He's our best interior pass rusher. Well, he isn't right now.
No.
He's not an interior pass rusher at all.
And he had a pretty good camp, I thought, too. Guys, people would ask me, who's caught your eye at camp? And he was one of the guys that I would list because he got a lot of good pressure up the middle in camp. Now, they've gotten absolutely no help for those guys on the edge. And people ask, well, what can they do? Nothing. There's no edge rushers out there on the street that you could sign that could give you some quality depth that you could then move Eric Armstead inside permanently. And there's no interior rushers out there on the street. Those guys that can do that are on rosters at this point.
Right.
So what you need is your secondary to play a little bit better, unfortunately, to help you out and to give your guys on the edge a little extra time. And we've seen the safeties have not played well. The corners have been a little up and down at times, but they should get a boost. Not this week, but it looks like the week after when Tyson Campbell comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And Tayshaun Gibson is going to be coming off the suspended list soon.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the starting lineup. And if and when Andrew Wingard finally gets healthy and gets off the IR list, I would not be surprised to see him in the starting lineup either. So there are some things that may be happening on the back end that could help. But there's nothing really that they can do about the lack of interior rush at this point.
The options are the options at this point. Doug Peterson was asked about some of that stuff in the secondary yesterday, Ryan Nielsen specifically. Doug was asked about the secondary bust that they've seen so far there in the secondary and what Doug has said, if anything, to Ryan Nielsen about it.
Look, we've had conversation about that, and we as coaches, we got to make sure that we communicate obviously better with our players and making sure they understand the situation of the game and what we're asking of them. So all things that are fixable, all things that are correctable. And we just got to drill down and make sure the players understand those situations and what we're asking of them.
Do football coaches just get that as an unofficial tattoo? It's all fixable.
It's correctable.
Right. Like it's every coach in every situation it's every ailment, right, around a football team until everything is actually, the ship is actually sinking. Like at that point, they'll be like, it didn't work out this year. We thought we'd be better at this. But until they get to that point, they're like, we can fix this.
Absolutely.
This is all fixable. And I look at the situation right now at safety, specifically for the team, Antonio Johnson, Andre Sisco. Right? Those are their two starting safeties. They kind of move guys in and out there. We'll see, you get Wingard back, what kind of impact that would have. Daniel Thomas wasn't available this week. Who knows what kind of impact that would have. How much they want to move Savage and these different guys up and down, in those spots. But those are the two starting safeties for the football team. Do you see those guys as being good enough to fix this? I don't doubt that they're being told what to do to be better. Are they good enough to actually fix it on the field?
I would have to say at this point, no, because the issues have still lingered throughout the game. Now, it's unfair, and I always try to avoid doing this, but it's unfair to point at those guys and say, okay, well, Cisco was in the wrong spot or Cisco blew the coverage just because he's the guy chasing Pierce into the end zone.
We don't know what was called.
Right. We don't know what was called. We don't know the assignment. But there clearly was a bust on the back end.
No doubt.
And that has happened consistently pretty much all season. Look, it like I said, there's no other help out there. You've got some help on your roster coming. But, you know, the one thing that I've been surprised is that Antonio Johnson has not been very good as a tackler. Especially,
he's doing a lot of it.
Yeah, especially one-on-one. He's been open field tackling has not been good for him. And that's one of the things you need out of those guys. Because if you're getting to that point, that means they've gotten through the first and second level. You need to make the tackle. And he's not been good at that either. So we'll see if they're able to fix it. But, you know, there's something to be said. Look, some guys are more athletic. Some guys are faster. They can make up ground if they make a mistake. But really, being in the right spot at the right time consistently is probably the most important thing you can ask out of those guys on the back end, because that prevents big plays. Now, sometimes they may just get beat athletically, and you can live with that. But you don't want to get beat because your guy got stuck staring in the offensive backfield. He didn't have the good eye discipline and looked, bit on a fake, whatever. The guy that can be in the right spot all the time is the most important thing that you can have back there, and that might be Dewey Wingard.
We'll see. You know, they don't, again, like on interior of the defensive line, they don't have really any options for what to go to. The guys that can play are playing. We'll see if they get better. We'll see if Mason just gets better as a player. I still believe in the talent potentially of a guy like Antonio Johnson, right? Because he can do so many different things for you. But there are things that need to be happening now, right? Like they just don't have any more time to wait to see. Let's see how this develops, right? Like this is a game where teams will game plan for 26 doesn't tackle.
Right. And we can confuse 26 and 5. We can get them off their spots where they're supposed to be.
And teams will get ready for that. And now you're going up against the Bears team that is loaded with options for these guys don't cover well and they're not tackling well right now. We can work with this, right? Like that's how I think Chicago is approaching this game with the weapons they have in the pass game right now. It's like, we can work with this. Like we have enough options to put a bunch of guys in different places wherever we want to put them, right? To create the matchup for ourselves in this game this week. It's a big test for a couple of guys that are obviously under a microscope right now in that secondary and should be with the way, especially that fourth quarter went. They did okay before that, right? But they didn't do anything in that fourth quarter. If you had knocked one more pass away, thank goodness Jarian Jones knocked away the one he did, on that final drive, because who knows what that game would have ended in if he hadn't been able to make that play. But he didn't make any other play all day, but he made that play for him. And it was in the most desperate moment they had from a pass defense perspective, but he made the play. And credit to him for making the play. They need those guys at some point in this game this week. They're going to be put in that position, make a play. Right.
Yeah, the one thing they could potentially try is they could move Savage back to safety and put Jarian Jones at nickel. If they have to, they could do that. They don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they're there yet.
No, they're not there at that point yet. But I mean, Jarian Jones has had some really good moments for this team.
Yeah.
It might be pick your poison at this point.
It's as close to top of mind as Armstead playing defensive tackle. Right? Like, I think those are all ideas that it's not like they're not thinking about it at this point, but they're thinking, do we need to pull the trigger on this yet? Like, when are we going to do this? Like, when do we hit the parachute on some of these ideas we had for how these things are going to look? Well, you're 1-4. It's parachute time. Like it's time. You can't afford to lose either of these two games in London. Not really. No. You need to win both of these football games. So you do whatever you have to do to win against the Chicago Bears, and then figure out what you need to do to make it look like you're going to win against the New England Patriots, and then see where you're at. Coming back at 3-4 with the daunting task of taking on the whole NFC North over the course of that next month. We'll take our look ahead a little bit more at Chicago and exactly what this matchup looks like against the Bears. Obviously, the rookie quarterbacks in back-to-back weeks for the Jags defense. Just that's interesting that they're going to get that opportunity with Drake May now being in the lineup for the New England Patriots here in a couple of weeks. But Caleb has gotten better each week as the quarterback there in Chicago, and just what kind of matchup problems does he present with what they will offer on Sunday in the Chicago Bears? We'll get into that a little bit more as we return. Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today here on 1010XL.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You got a lot of things to take care of perhaps in the next 24 hours or so as you're driving around. Don't worry about a big sit-down meal. Just swing into your area gate station. Maybe you're going to grab some ice. Maybe you're going to get some gas. But definitely head to the Fresh Case and check out what Dandy and the Anytime Deli labels are offering up. And I tell you what, they're offering up an abundance of great options. The Thompson family created Dandy here in Jacksonville nearly 70 years ago, and they continue to thrive to this day because they don't settle for just good enough. The highest quality ingredients, locally sourced as often as possible, fantastic variety, prices that always are agreeable. Dandy's got you covered when you're in the market for food on the go. Swing in, they've got great breakfast items. I love their French toast. They've got light, tasty maple waffles and all the bacon and eggs and anything you can imagine. If you're hungry for breakfast or anything else on the go, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Jaguars Today Thursday, brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a gravy taster from Jacksonville, Florida, me, Dennis Mosley.
Hi, Ken.
Okay, Dennis. 100 plumbers surveyed, top answer on the board. What does it mean if someone says your home has hard water?
It's made of ice? Let's see. Hard water. Oh, is it club soda mixed 4-to-1 with vodka?
Last chance, Dennis. What is hard water?
Oh, is it that lime scale stuff that makes my taps all crusty?
That's right, Dennis. And a water treatment system from Bueller Air and Plumbing will eliminate troublesome lime scale deposits that can ruin your expensive appliances and let your neighbors know for sure that you are cool.
I wonder if I can get me a gin and tonic faucet.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems, gun charges, drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Loggeman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024. Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Hayden Hurst, NFL tight end. I just wanted to say how grateful I am for Dr. Lip and Active Health in Jacksonville. Wasn't sure where my career was going to go this offseason. Had a lot of issues with my back and right hip. Thought about hanging it up, but thanks to those guys, everybody at Active Health, they got me back to where I needed to be. So thankful for the Bulls Pipeline connection. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't wait to see where this year takes me out in LA.
Active Health Jacks can help you too. Give them a call today at 904-296-0202 or go online activehealthjacks.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe. I want to talk to you about picking the right battles to fight in this life. Every day, we have opportunities to get upset and angry. But I want you to realize that sometimes you have to ignore in this life so that you can soar into the kingdom of heaven. My encouragement, friends, to you is to pick the right battles to fight. Fight only battles that help you draw closer to God, because you have to ignore so that you can soar.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Florida Gators. And by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Want to show your kids something really cool? Take them by the Kuhn Flowers window display on Beach Boulevard. 1010XL's RJ Saunders here, and there's no better way to introduce your kids to Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars have made the trip across the Atlantic so frequently, the team has the operational logistics down pat.
Most of these guys have probably never traveled overseas out of the country. The Jaguars do a great job of communicating and clarifying everything. And
in London, the Jags will face the overall #1 pick in Bears' very talented quarterback Caleb Williams, says head coach Doug Peterson.
I think the quarterback's playing better, number one. I think he's seeing the field better, and we know the talent that he is. Great talent, young player, and has the ability to move in the pocket.
Jaguars placed wide receiver Devin Duvernay on their injured reserve list Wednesday. Duvernay will miss at least 4 games as he nurses a hamstring injury suffered in Week 5 against the Colts. At your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguar update, I'm Sam Nelson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, Dylan Denmark here with you. We're about a little over half an hour away from the Breakfast Bowl. Woohoo! That's when we'll check in with Mr. Dempsey over at the house here this morning. I'm having internet issues over here, but we're working through it. I don't know why all of a sudden they decided to pop up, but they did. Wanted to talk a little bit about the matchup coming up against the Bears this week. Going into the season, I had the Bears among my 7 teams to make the playoffs in the NFC. So I had my expectations for the Bears pretty high going into the year anyway. I was curious to see what was going to happen with a young quarterback and exactly what that was going to look like at what point in the season with Caleb Williams, right? Like, when would it start to click for him? And we saw early on in the year what teams should do against the rookie. That is, play a bunch of zone, give him a bunch of stuff short, and then when you get down into scoring time, all that zone stuff, everything gets compressed, and you can really confuse a young quarterback, and that's what teams did. For the first 3 weeks. The last couple weeks, Carolina, it made sense to me. They're down so much so early that they got to get after him. That's their only chance to get back into that game. So they start blitzing, and it's like, all right, give him one-on-one. He's going to kill you, especially with the options he has. Now, given coming into the year, what we talked about with a Nielsen coverage perspective, we want to make it look like man, but play zone. And now everyone's kind of complaining about all the zone defense the Jaguars play. Is this the right week to be a zone defense going up against a guy like Caleb with all the options he has in that pass game?
Yeah, because you especially with the back end, but you got to be 100% on it at the back end with those guys, especially if you're going to play too deep. This is a game where those safeties have to play well. And, the best thing that you can do when you're playing playing those rookie quarterbacks is disguise. Disguise as much as you can. Disguise your rushes, disguise your blitzes, disguise who's dropping, who's not. You got to make them think and make them process quickly. Now, the benefit that he has is he's got guys like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Odunze. Yeah. So
and Cole Kmet's a good player
he's
too.
got, he's got way more. He's got atypical weapons for what you get as a number 1 draft pick. Normally, you're dealing with what Trevor Lawrence was dealing with as a rookie. And that has undoubtedly helped his development for sure. And all it takes is one blown assignment in the back end, and we've seen how quickly this team can give up points. So I think it would probably behoove them to take that approach this week, but we'll see what happens. I would feel better about them or their chances on dealing with this group if Tyson Campbell were back, but that's going to be another week.
Sure. You look at their results they've gotten to this point this year. They've played 4 of their first 5 games were 1-score games. They went 2-2 in those. Carolina's kind of a weird thing in the league right now. I know they're not as bad as they were before Andy Dalton got put back into the lineup for that team, but they are not a good football team. I don't know what Carolina does well, right, at this point in time, and it showed up even more on Sunday without Jadeveon Clowney even being available. You could see it. They couldn't do anything, right, defensively to affect anything that Chicago wanted to do. But before that, Chicago had played 4 1-score games, which is pretty typical of the NFL, and had gone 2-2 in those. It was an ugly win that first week against Tennessee on Monday night. They just found a way, but Tennessee did confuse Caleb a lot that night. He wound up throwing for 93 yards or something like that in his debut. He had the big week a couple weeks ago against Indianapolis where he threw for, I'm looking at it now, 363, but he also threw 2 picks in that game. He had back-to-back weeks with a couple of picks. Caleb he has not learned the lesson on when he needs to just get rid of the ball yet, right? Like he is a guy, he's going to create opportunities this week for a pass rush that hadn't been at the top of its game really much this year to make some big plays, because Caleb would be like, well, if I can scramble here to the right and then back around to the left, then maybe back to the right again, I can make a big play out of this thing, as opposed to, oh, it's 2nd and 10, I ought to just throw it away because we got 3rd down. Like he is still young enough and confident enough in his athletic ability that a couple times he's going to create that opportunity, and we'll see if the Jags are going to be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and so far they haven't capitalized on opportunities like that. Last week they did. They did at times, let me rephrase that. But that secondary hasn't really been in position to make big plays yet. Jarian Jones did have the pass breakup, you said the other day, but man, they have not. It's the rush and cover goes together, and there were times when it both worked. They've just been so hit and miss defensively, and I keep going back to it, but man, the reason the Jags offense worked so well last week, in addition to the fact that like the offensive line played its best game and Trevor was not hit and pressured just once, is what they made big plays. And those chunk plays, that helps. You can't keep driving 12, 13, 14 plays to score. Okay? Well, the Jags are giving up the chunk plays, and they're giving them up in the pass game, which is a huge issue when you're facing an offense that has Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. I mean, Odunze is a rookie, but he's extremely talented. If you were dealing with some younger receivers instead of Allen and Moore, guys who have done it in the league, 1,000 yards receiving seasons in this league, you'd feel better about it. But yeah, they have to start forcing turnovers on defense. They just have to do it. They were the last team in the league to get a turnover. They were the last team in the league to get a defensive turnover, and that was a sack fumble. They got to get their hands on some batted passes. They got to get their hands on some interceptions, because that's how you're going to. If you look at this Jags offense too, and we talked about the lack of plays that they've had in the first several weeks, first month of the season, it's because they haven't gotten short fields at all. And that's how you help out the offense, get them some short fields. You got to start getting turnovers, and they just haven't done it.
Yes, we talked about a lot coming out of the Houston game. They had opportunities for those big plays, and they just didn't hit them, right? And then against Indianapolis, every opportunity for a big play they had, they hit. and that's how you score 34. That's how it works in the NFL. There are going to be opportunities available. Every team's going to have them every week. They happen, right? It's what do you do in those big moments? Do you take advantage of them? The Jags have had some easy opportunities that they missed, and this week they had some easy opportunities that they hit. And when they hit them, I think they are a tough team to beat when the offense is going to be clicking that kind of way. But do want to talk about exactly what that matchup looks like for the Jags offense against the Chicago defense, where it does kind of flip this week in a lot of ways, where Chicago is way better against the pass than they are against the run. And Indianapolis was a team that was kind of caught in the middle of everything. They had so many injuries up front that you didn't know what exactly they'd be able to be good at, for a week for that matchup. Chicago, I think we know where they're going to be good and exactly what does Jacksonville want to do to try to attack those things. We'll talk about that as we continue along and get ready for the Jags playing the Bears over there in London on Sunday. Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. It's the play that influenced the outcome.
Handoff, inside, he sees it, now he goes and gets it. Nice play coming downhill.
Listen for the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game on 1010XL. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Are you an experienced plumber or welder with MedGas certification and you're tired of being undervalued? It's time to make the move to Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. With the best pay in the business, you'll earn $36.50 an hour. With benefits, that's almost $50. It's not just a job, it's a career that values you. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
When you're injured in a car accident and the insurance company denies your medical bills, denies to pay your lost wages, and won't repair your car, it's time to fight back. Time to call Farah and Farah at 800-500-5555. Jacksonville.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Dive into Beyond Triathlon, an inspiring documentary with stories of women in sports, featuring Jacksonville's Dottie Dorian, Mayor Donna Deegan, and three-time Olympic gold medalist Nancy Hogshead at the Lazara Performance Hall at UNF this Saturday, October 12th. After, Bacardi invites you to celebrate with a triumphant Toast to Excellence reception. Golden and silver levels get an exclusive custom blended bottle of rum. Get tickets starting at $10 at BeyondTriathlon.com. Proceeds benefit scholarships for female athletes.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and even though you're the place to go for fun, you're also a place to go for generators. People need generators.
And the Honda lineup is amazing. They make the super quiet model, inverter technology, the electricity's super clean. You can have conversations with them. You can back up your whole house with a Honda generator. So we have them in stock, and we're ready to ride.
So you have generators big enough that could run everything in the house?
Absolutely.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency for generators.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
Hand off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
This is Paige, owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. People ask me all the time what's healthy, and that's hard because healthy is different from losing weight, and I think that's where a lot of people struggle. There are a lot of foods out there that are healthy foods, but they're not going to support your weight loss, and that's what we're here to help with. We're here to help you get in the healthy foods that are going to help you lose weight. The Awaken 180 difference is our coaches. It's our team. You can find things online about weight loss, but you try them yourself and they just don't work. And that's because everyone is different. And that's what our coaches are so skilled at helping you figure out.
They certainly figure it out.
This is Mike Dempsey, and as you all know, I dropped my 25 pounds in just 4 weeks thanks to Awaken 180. They did the work, I just followed my plan. They did the same for Matt Hayes, and I'd say they hit the target with Hacker, about to reach the 100-pound mark. Let them do it for you. Reserve your consultation at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
If I was to describe this sandwich in one word, I would say magical. Hi, this is Jamor, and the little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is that extra oomph. I go back and forth from the spicy filet to the original filet. I get into the sweetness of the honey, then you have the extra kick from the spicy filet. The combination alone takes it over the top. It's award-winning.
The Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back with a bite. Try it with the original or spicy filet, now for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Find your why with membership at the First Coast YMCA. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Come try free access to your local Y every Wellness Wednesday this month. Check out our fitness classes, swimming, pickleball, youth sports, and so much more for free every Wednesday in October. Plus, we'll waive the join fee when you become a member this month. Get active, be social, live healthier, and discover all the benefits of YMCA membership at your local Y or visit fcymca.org.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Kuhn Flowers. Florida head coach Billy Napier wants quarterback DJ Lagway to look to quarterback Graham Mertz and taking his play to the next level.
That's next level quarterback play, being able to redirect mics and protect yourself. Graham, obviously, he's a PhD.
The season has been disappointing for Knowles football, but for head coach Mike Norvell, it is providing an opportunity for younger players, and the head coach is excited about the potential he sees.
We've got very talented young players, and so I'm excited about the group. I'm excited about what the potential is. I'm excited about where they can be.
A strong showing against UCF, combined with a fan vote, has led to Florida Gator veteran punter Jeremy Crenshaw to be named the Ray Guy Award Punter of the Week. He was among 8 finalists up for the weekly award. At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:58, it's 71 degrees. Time and Center brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
Keeping things rolling here on a Thursday edition of Jaguars Today. I did buy breakfast. I'll bring Dempsey his tomorrow, and he'll be back in studio with me. So I'm not skipping out on getting Dempsey something to eat as well. But
you better man than me.
Yeah, he not going to be able to be here today, so I'll bring it in for Mike tomorrow. But brought it in for the fellas today as we all got out of the storm. Okay, we're able to get in. Mike Dempsey maybe going outside to cool off. No AC at the house. No power at the house for Mike, but we'll be talking to him here in about 15 minutes or so as we'll get ready for Breakfast Bowl Week 6. We were talking about the matchups for the Jags on defense going up against Chicago there in the last segment. Let's flip it to the other side now. What the Jaguars offense will be facing in this Chicago defense. They are among the better pass defenses in the league. They do have more of a pass rush, certainly, than they had halfway through last year when they were able to make the move to go get Montez Sweat. That's a good player that they added up front for themselves. They're getting more interior push than a lot of teams are, right? With Gervin Dexter there in the middle of it as well. Chicago's in a pretty good shape when it comes to defending the pass. Where their issues have come is they can get hurt a little bit against the run. Do you feel like the Jaguars are confident enough in where their run game is right now that they would be willing to go into a game like this where it does appear the advantage that they might be able to create for themselves would be in the run game, to trust that as an advantage for the football team right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's even with Travis Etienne dealing with a banged-up shoulder. What they've gotten out of Tank Bigsby, I mean, he's still got a ways to go in terms of recognizing the hole and recognizing when to lower the shoulder and continue to push forward instead of trying, like he tried to bounce outside a couple of times last week. That, he pass protection has still been an issue with him, but they feel comfortable enough with his ball security and the way that he is a physical runner. They could go ahead and be a team on Sunday that leads with the run game without question. And it's just a matter of how does Etienne's shoulder hold up. Dearness Johnson has the amount of trust they showed in Tank and Dearness Johnson on that game-winning drive last year, because last week Etienne was on the sideline. He didn't play on it because his shoulder was banged up so much. They feel confident enough in that. And the offensive line, especially the interior, has done a very good job run blocking. They're averaging about 127 yards a game, which isn't bad. I mean, it's not Baltimore Ravenish where they're over 200, but I mean, 127 yards a game, not bad. So I think that if they're patient enough, and the one thing that we saw out of Trevor Lawrence last week too was against a Gus Bradley defense, you have to be patient and you take the shots when the shots are there. And he did that. So that's kind of the way you're going to have to play again this week. Patient on offense. And look, control the ball, keeps Caleb Williams and that offense off the field, gives your defense a chance to rest. What would be good for this team is to put a touchdown on the board on their first possession and then start playing from ahead. That would help this team significantly.
But talking about where we feel like the run game is right now, how do we marry that together with what we've seen them do late in the last two games, right? I didn't have a big issue with the play calling at the end of the game against Indianapolis because it was clear to me Trevor Lawrence in the pass game was going well enough that that's where I would have put the game to, right? If I was calling the game at that point in time, the drive where they went 3 and out, I thought he made 2 really good throws. The guys on the other end didn't come up with them, right? So I was comfortable with the play calling even in that moment, but, we interact with the fans, and they're saying, why aren't we running the ball at the end of these games? And they did it in Houston. They did it last week again against Indy. It worked better against Indy because you wound up winning the game. Like when they got the ball back, I had no doubt Trevor Lawrence was going to get him in field goal range. Just with the way that the game had gone, I was like, yeah, they're going to score.
Right.
I had no doubt they were going to be able to get that done. Chicago is different because that is where it appears their bigger weakness is against the run. If the Jags were to get into a similar type of game situation this week, how confident are you that the run game could actually close out a game for the Jaguars?
Now, if they're ahead, they've done a really good job with Brenton Strange in there and Luke Farrell in there.
Sure.
As blockers. It's not going to be easy to close out. Like, are you talking like 4-minute drive? I don't know that they're going to be able to.
The same situations they've been in the last couple of weeks, right? They had a lead against Houston. They had a lead against Indianapolis, and late that last drive, they got it done at the very last drive, but they had an opportunity before that. They chose to throw, and like I said, I had no issue with them choosing to throw given the flow of that game at that point. I thought the ball should be in Trevor's hands too at that point in the game, and we may get there at the end of this one against Chicago. We may feel the exact same way, but I'm not sure because of the matchup against Chicago.
Yeah, this is a cop-out, but it kind of depends on how the game's going, too. Are they having success throughout the game? Or are they having to rely on Trevor Lawrence and the pass game, the short pass game, to get the ball moving and to get some kind of production out of the backs, whether that's in the passing game or screen game, whatever? But look, you put the game in your quarterback's hands. That's what you do.
Sure.
That's what your teams do. They, especially if you believe you have a franchise quarterback, which they do, it's always going to be in Trevor Lawrence's hands. So would it surprise me if the same thing happened this week and they were in the same position, and instead of turning around and trying to hand it off and pound out 10 yards, that they're throwing the ball? No, not at all. Not at all. Because that's your guy. You're going to put the win or the loss in that situation on your quarterback without question. But look, the run game is probably going to be the key for them in this game anyway. If they're able to run the ball consistently throughout the day, and that doesn't necessarily mean always the run game can be like it was last week, where it's 1, 2, 3, and then a big play. You know what I mean? I don't think this team is set up at this point right now to sit there with 4 minutes left. I don't think they're good enough overall to be able to 4, 3, 4, 4. You know what I mean? And pound out 4 minutes all on the run game. I don't think they're that good yet. They are pretty good when the whole offense is available to be able to run the ball, but I don't think they're at the point still where they could sit there and just turn around and just hand it off and just rip 4 minutes right off the clock.
What does your gut tell you about the availability of Evan Ingram this week, and how do you think they want to use him? Strange has been really good in this month while Ingram's been out, and we're talking about the run game. I think they need Strange on the field to help the run game. I think he's a big plus in the run game for this football team. So I expect them to use a bunch of 2 tight end sets. Even with Ingram coming back, I would expect that if Ingram's good enough to go, that a lot of those snaps are going to come at the expense of Gabe Davis, just with the way things are going right now. But how do you expect Ingram and Strange to be used when they're both back and available?
I think Ingram is going to be, again, what he was last season at this point. He's going to be that safety valve, that outlet, shorter passes in that 5 to 6, 7 yard range, and let him go ahead and get some yards after the catch that way. And Brenton Strange is going to be part of the pass game for sure, but he's definitely, like, when they're running 2 tights, it's going to be Strange and it's going to be Ingram. And I expect Strange to be involved as a blocker as well. And Ingram's a better blocker than people give him credit for being.
He's willing.
Yes, he's willing. And so, sometimes that's, you don't have to pancake a guy every time.
Yeah.
So, but
Strange is a monster in there.
Strange is a little different.
Yeah.
But having Ingram, we have to look at it in now you have Ingram and Kirk, and that allows you to do so much more in that short intermediate pass game than just having one or the other.
Right. No doubt. We want to continue to talk, obviously, about this matchup against the Bears, but first let's take a look at around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Houston running back Joe Mixon did not practice on Wednesday, along with offensive tackles Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard, who were both held out. Indianapolis running back Jonathan Taylor did not practice yesterday. Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. is dealing with a back injury that is expected to sideline him for multiple weeks, could land him on injured reserve ultimately. New York Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors still has not cleared the league's concussion protocol. Giants running back Devin Singletary got in a limited practice on Wednesday. Giants defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau is week to week after having surgery to repair a fractured scaphoid bone in his wrist. Philadelphia wide receivers A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were both full participants in practice on Wednesday. Atlanta wide receiver Darnell Mooney was limited with a knee injury. Baltimore wide receiver Rashad Bateman, offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley, cornerback Marlon Humphrey all missed practice for the Ravens yesterday. Cincinnati running back Zach Moss missed practice with a foot injury. Dallas defensive end Micah Parsons did not practice with an ankle injury that kept him out last week on Sunday Night Football. New England safety Jabril Peppers has been placed on the commissioner's exempt list. Antonio Pierce has announced that the Raiders will be starting Aiden O'Connell on Sunday at quarterback, so Gardner Minshew goes to the bench at least for now. There in Vegas and New Orleans has announced that they will start Spencer Rattler on Sunday against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got up there to New Orleans a couple days ago as they were getting away from the storm, and lucky for them, they're playing there this week, so there's no more travel. They're where they need to be, but Spencer Rattler, add him to the list of rookies that are going to be playing this year around the league. I don't know if I would have got to Spencer Rattler on the list.
Not on the bingo card.
Yeah,
no,
but
not at all.
That's where we're at with that situation there right now. Our situation is the Breakfast Bowl is right around the corner. Week 6 of the Breakfast Bowl. We'll welcome in Mike Dempsey, check on him. Everything's fine. I know everything's fine. He's just stuck at the house right now. So we'll get him in, and we'll see where we go in Week 6 of the Breakfast Bowl as the most fierce of all radio competitions in Jacksonville continues. And you guys have full bellies to prove it here this morning. No doubt about it. That's coming up next. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today. For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Make Friday feel like the weekend.
We're wasting time.
That's why we give you Pre-Game Friday.
Let's do it. Come on.
We'll get you ready for the games. Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes, official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and MyBookie on 1010XL.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
When it comes to selling your home, it can be stressful. Take the stress out with my friends, Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. How's this for a guarantee? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. And if you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home. Take Kim in Palm Coast. I needed to move closer to family ASAP, but I had to sell my Palm Coast home first. I tried and failed with another agent. So my family said, you got to call Chad and Sandy. Well, sure enough, as promised, Chad and Sandy did it. They sold my home in 3 days, above asking price. Call the local Jacksonville experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Jaguars Today Thursday is brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Chris Doring is chomping at the bit to tell you about today's Gators.
Chomp, chomp,
with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Tuesday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Want a one-stop shop when it comes to commercial or residential construction? Then pick Preferred Builders. They should be high on your list. Over 70 years of construction experience combined with exceptional product and service warranties. They've got a team ready to tackle any size project. In fact, they built their business in Duval by offering superior work at reasonable prices, and reputation over time means something. Honest and knowledgeable, reliable and responsive. Be sure and put Preferred Builders into your game plan for your next construction project. That's Preferred Builders.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit by lowering mortgage rates big time. Prosser here. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.59% APR, the lowest in 2 years. Whether you got your loan last month or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto and dump that high-rate loan. You can lock in a lower rate fast with virtually no paperwork and usually no appraisal. There's no limit on how many times you can refi, so get started. Even if you're in process with another lender, give Loan Pronto a call. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Purchase loans available as well, so call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLSconsumeraccess.org.
There's certain places if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate. Full of choices and all of them good.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and beautiful people all across the world. Let's get ready for the Breakfast Bowl Challenge!
Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
Before we get into the fireworks here with the actual Breakfast Bowl picks, as we welcome Mike Dempsey onto the show. It's good to hear from you, Mike.
Well, it's nice to hear.
How are things over at the house, my friend?
Dark and warming by the minute.
Okay.
Well, nope, that's all right. Whatever, man. A lot of people have it worse than I do, but our power went out sometime overnight. I don't know exactly when, and don't know when it'll exactly be restored, but I checked the FPL website. We're only 1 in 4 people in St. Johns County don't have power. So hopefully it'll be
hopefully it'll be quick. Hopefully it'll be quick for y'all over there, and then
we'll live.
You'll be back up and running. Absolutely. We'll see if you survive another week in the Breakfast Bowl, though, as we get ready for Week 6 in the Breakfast Bowl. I didn't survive last week or the week before. Back-to-back losses for me in the Breakfast Bowl after a just week. Coming up last was 70.95 points last week. Dylan, 93.5 to take the week win. Dempsey second with 85.3. That .3 keeps him ahead of D-Rock's 85. Me was 70.95 on the week last week. So that sets our draft order each week. I'll pick first, D-Rock second, Dempsey third. Dylan will be with the wraparound picks at the end of the first round going into the second round. Y'all know how it works by now. Everyone gets to You can only use a player once a week. You can only use a player once a season. So if anyone else uses him that week, he is no longer available to you. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, one flex. It's not a super flex, so you can't take 2 quarterbacks every week. That would be some chaos added to this as well.
Oh, my Lord.
But none of that going on. So,
next year.
Yeah, I'll get it started. I'm going to go Stephon Diggs to open it up today. D-Rock?
On my list there. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to go Drake London.
All right, Drake London. Demps?
All right, let's see here. Give me Joe Burrow, please.
Joe Burrow. Chasing the hot hand. Man, was it hot last week. That's D-Rock's whole team. It's Joe Burrow.
Pretty much.
Dylan with back-to-back.
Tony Pollard, running back.
Boo. Boo Titans.
I don't care about the Titans. He gets 2 touchdowns, and I'll be there for the game.
He's a solid pick this week.
Then, Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed.
All right. Let's see here. Let me take Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. There's not been a running back name that wasn't on my list yet this week. So,
all right, I'm going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Purdy's really injured, but that might just be me. I might have heard wrong.
So that would
Inside
be
sources.
D-Rock's flex. So for me, what do I want to do here? I will go Jahmyr Gibbs. And Trey McBride. Back to D-Rock.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mr. Walker, Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker.
Gonna take Jamar Chase.
Tagging him up.
Okay. I like Kyle Pitts at tight end. I will go Debo at flex.
Debo and Kyle Pitts.
I'm going to go with Jake Ferguson at tight end.
Jake Ferguson. D-Rock.
I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. Match him up with Drake London there.
You're talking about chasing points. Man. This guy.
All right, my final 2 picks here. I will go Jaden Daniels. And this is the pick that makes me nervous this week, but I hope it's the right week for it. Alvin Kamara with all the chaos there in New Orleans.
I'm going to go with George Kittle as my tight end.
All right.
Who was it? Who was it?
George Kittle.
Okay. I just didn't hear you.
Yep, and now a flex, Demps.
Yep, taking Jordan Mason.
Okay. May he give you the same luck he gave me.
Lamar Jackson.
Nah, he was lightly used last week for you, Tony, so he's fresh for tonight.
Yeah. Well, you said Lamar Jackson there, Pockets?
Yes, sir. Lamar Jackson.
All right, so Pockets goes
it.
with Lamar Jackson. Here's the way it looks this week. I have Jaden Daniels, Jahmyr Gibbs, Stephon Diggs, Trey McBride, and Alvin Kamara in the flex. D-Rock, Kirk Cousins, Kenneth Walker, Drake London, George Kittle, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. For Dempsey, Joe Burrow, Josh Jacobs, Jamar Chase on the hookup there with Joe Burrow, Jake Ferguson, and Jordan Mason. And for Dylan, Lamar Jackson, Tony Pollard, Jaden Reed, Kyle Pitts, and Debo Samuel. Our question of the day today, Mike, before we let you go here, we're just asking which of these Jaguars has been the most disappointing through the first 5 games of the season. The 2 players we kept in the poll were Eric Armstead and Gabe Davis. We left the other option if you wanted to go off the board, but how would you answer that today?
Armstead, because more was expected, at least by me. Like, I thought he was going to become or be a, I don't know, like high-level player at his position. I always thought Gabe Davis is a good player. He's a nice player, but I figured he'd be wide receiver 3. You know, he's disappointed, but I just think I expected more out of Eric Armstead. So I expected him to be utilized differently and expected him to go out of interior push, opening things up, and we just haven't seen that. The defensive tackle position has not exactly been a great one for the Jags early on, and he's not making plays there or at end.
No. Look, we've been talking about it now for a couple days on this show, right? Like, at what point are they going to have a conversation with Eric Armstead and say, we need you to be a tackle? That's where we need the help right now. We need help at end, too, but I do think their need at tackle right now, Demps, is bigger than it is at end, even though we don't know who the third end would be if it's not Eric Armstead. I do think the need for interior pass rush is bigger.
He can play end when one of Trayvon or Josh is out of the game, but they should never both be out of the game at the same time, as we've discussed greatly. So I'm sure that'll be interesting results on that poll. I've got a question for you guys before I do go. So what is it like buying breakfast for everybody?
Well, hopefully we'll add you to the mix here soon.
Oh, he's taunting.
Yeah.
I'll just go on your book report or whatever. But I'm good. I'm good with what's been going down for the first month plus.
Since I don't know how in contact you're going to be able to be with the lack of power, I will assume that I will bring you the same breakfast from Chick-fil-A that I would have brought last week.
Sure, why not?
For you?
Sure, why not?
That is my plan. I'm not going to skip you tomorrow with the breakfast deal since you weren't able to be in today. So I will be bringing you Chick-fil-A tomorrow morning when we get you back in here, my man. All right. Be safe.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay as cool as you can stay, given the circumstances, my friend, and we'll see you tomorrow here on the show.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Mike Dempsey having to do it from the house, joining us on the Garber Auto Mall phone line, as all our guests do here on 1010 XL, and the Breakfast Bowl is in the books. Week 6. I feel way better about my team this week than I did last week. I told you. When I was drafting last week, I was like, I got to go Jordan Mason 1, and I don't like this at all. There was nobody that I was picking that I was like, yay, I got him. There was none of that last week. This week, I pretty much, when I said I could get 5 of the 5 I wanted, I got 5 of the 5 I wanted.
Okay.
For this week. Now, I may be a fool, and I may be shown in the results, right? I am the guy who's bought breakfast in back-to-back weeks. You bought it the 2 weeks before that.
I did.
We are the guys circling toilet bowls at this point, the breakfast bowl here for the last month, but we'll see if we can break ourselves out of that stupidity. We want to give our answers to the question of the day today as well. We'll do that as we'll wrap it up. We got one segment left here with Mike DiRocco before we turn all our attention to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears coming up in London. It still feels weird every year when we talk about them playing in London, but they are going to be playing in London back-to-back weeks starting on Sunday against the Chicago Bears. We'll talk about how we would answer the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day when we return. You're listening to Tony Smith, Mike DiRocco, Dylan Denmark on Jaguars Today here on 1010 XL.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years.
It's what I love to do. It's what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. HairForMe.com.
The Sunshine State says it all in the nickname. That summer sun in Florida can take its toll on an air conditioning unit and send your electric bill through the roof. Florida Home AC can help you handle the heat with a brand new AC unit with low monthly payments and over $3,000 in federal tax credits on select systems. So this summer, don't sweat it out. Cool off with Florida Home AC, the official AC company of the Jaguars. Call them today, 777-4300, and check out their tremendous savings on a brand new AC system.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I did physical therapy for approximately 8 weeks, and it did not help in increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf, I fish a lot, I hunt, I bowl, and it just made it a lot easier with less pain. The pain is more manageable, yes. I don't take medications.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
For Jag head coach Doug Peterson, that monsters of the Midway Bears defense will prove formidable.
They're one of the top scoring defenses, obviously, since they got Montez Sweat, and rightfully so. He's a great player, great edge rusher.
Jag quarterback Trevor Lawrence looks forward to tight end Evan Ingram getting back on the field.
Obviously been trying to work Evan back in, and hopefully everything goes well this week and he's able to get out there. If he can go, obviously he's a huge part of our offense.
The Jaguars plan to sport their Prowler throwback uniforms again in Week 15 when the team will host the New York Jets. Jaguars will also debut an alternate shell white helmet, which incorporates Jacksonville's current logo when they host the Minnesota Vikings in Week 10. At your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguar update, I'm Sam Nelson.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law.